Hey, what's going on? I'm Jamie Michael Joseph. This is the Strategy and Conversions podcast. And in this episode, we have something special. Now, I'm going to basically run a few clips of a recent session with Matt Ruddle of Ruddle Digital. Now, this is in the Marketing and Sales Mastermind. We do a session each month where members can come on, they have any issues, they need some input, they need some guidance and direction. They can get it from myself, they can get it from anybody else in the mastermind. And each month we have an expert who comes in, they do a masterclass. Now, Matt did his on marketing automation, how to basically free up time and make money. We even looked at doubling your sales within there. And then he came on to the session. We helped out, with a few issues that were going on that people had. And then we just started chatting. Okay, so we started going into the likes of marketing in general, SEO, social media, paid ads, all the different levels of marketing sophistication, really. So this episode here, I've just put together a few clips. I think it's about half hour long. But yeah, look, check this out. There's so much going on in here. And look, obviously, if you want to check out the Marketing and Sales Mastermind, I'll put a link below. You can grab a trial, come in, removed all barriers, check it out. But look, we do at least 4 sessions each month. We do a strategy session, a tactical session, expert masterclass. We do the mastermind Q&A session where you can come in and get the input that you want. We do bonus sessions as well. So all about cash creation, making money online, all that kind of stuff, and all different kind of training. We have the community, the messenger, the training vault. It's all there for you. Look, if you're looking to make moves, if you're looking to progress, you're looking to you know what I say about progress and stuff. When we talk about marketing, everyone, sometimes thinks about lead generation and creating more business and stuff like that. But simplifying the process and just knowing what to do next is worth its weight in gold. Okay. And you can get all that within the Marketing and Sales Mastermind. So look, I'll switch over now to the session. And this was from a 2-hour session. We've got about half hour, like I said, some snippets, some gold in here. Listen to it, listen again, because there's some bombs in here. Okay. As I said on the session, if I had some sound effects, I'd be dropping bombs all the time. This stuff is great. Check it out, and I'll see you at the end.
With automation, is that it's not just sending people one email after the next, which was what it was originally. Save you having to just schedule things. You just go, well, send this one, send it a week later, send it this, and so forth. Now it's about this full branching out of going, okay, well, we're sending the email one and we're giving them 2 options. Do you want to go left or right? If they don't click anything, right, we just move on to the next one. But we're still trying to get them to go left or right. If they go left, great, we siphon them off and we start them on this path, but we're still giving them options to go left or right. Do you want to go back to the original or do you want to go further? And the more you move over to the left or to the right, the closer you are to buying something, or the closer you are to that ultimate call to action, which is, right, we've warmed you up enough to, again, going 7-11 for, we've got you up to that buying bit in the pressure gauge that we're now going to go, do you want to buy from us?
Putting the steps in place, that customer journey, you're helping people moving along. It doesn't feel like selling. It doesn't feel like, they're making the buying decision whilst they're doing it. They're happy, they're moving through. And it's just about having those steps in place to make it happen. It's just brilliant, isn't it? Like, you create a customer out of someone who wasn't a customer. You create 5 customers out of 1 customer, that kind of thing. And then you get a database. I was talking yesterday, actually, and he was talking about bricks and mortar businesses, because I think a lot of people, even today, we talk about marketing and online, and people are like, it's not for our business, or it isn't for this. It's like, shut up, it is. But it's like, he was talking about a pizza place, and this is going back years ago now. I mean, I've done a few different podcasts where talking with Mark, and I say I really rate Domino's on their marketing right now, because I get hit up left, right, and center every day, with different stuff. And it's like on a Friday, especially, I can guarantee today, right, the menu will come through the door, and I'll get an email and I'll get a text, that says your pizza's ready. And this was talking to this guy about it. There was this thing that with the pizza places, they started collecting the emails of their customers and stuff like that. And then what they did is they started sending out emails or text messages, it might have been at the time, or a mix of 2, I can't remember. And what they would do is at 5 p.m. or something like that, they would just say, just a reminder, we're here for you. If you want to grab a pizza on the way home, we'll have it ready for you by the time you get here. right? And I can't remember the stats, right? But it was phenomenal. It was like the amount of more pizzas they sold just by sending out those emails, you know, messages and stuff like that was just through the roof. And it's like, all it is a bit of effort. And like you said, that whole thing that you have to get in front of the people, you know, and if it's a certain time, like those people, like 4 out of 5 days, they're just like, I don't want a pizza tonight, I don't want a pizza tonight. By the 5th day, they're just like, man, I want that pizza. Yeah.
No, did the same with the Subway franchise of literally going at 10:30 in the morning, we'd send the vouchers out.
Yeah.
Because they're just thinking about getting to lunch, going, oh, I've got that really boring sandwich in my locker. Do I really want that? Or I can have a sub with a free cookie and a free drink. And I've got a voucher to share with a mate of mine, so we'll both pop across.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like triple their database. I mean, one guy filled them in about 14 times.
Sorry about that. Like,
yeah. They didn't do a banoffee sub, which
that's what they should do. See, you know, get the dessert on the go as well. You know, banoffee
exactly
all over it. But yeah, but that is it though, mate. I mean, people just like it's a bit of effort, isn't it? Or it's a bit of cost, right? Bring yourself in, right? And it's like, do you know what, you know, and it's not for everyone, but that there will be, you know, there'll be sole traders, there'll be micro businesses, there'll be small businesses, all sorts, right? And look, for $1,000 or $2,000, right? You can put together, you can map out a system, you can have things working and everything like that. That will pay off. That will create so much more income from you, especially in the long run as well. We've already mentioned about retention and all that kind of stuff, right? Lifetime value. It all comes back to a bit of effort, you know, or a bit of cost, you know, to get things up and running. And you could be flying.
It's knowing the stages and knowing that customer journey. That's what you want in your business, because then you see what's working and you see what's not working. You can then make, you know, positive changes throughout. Like we said with, you know, you learn the analytics and you make educated decisions. So therefore you're always evolving, but you're moving forward rather than, you know, moving backwards or running around like a headless chicken and saying, oh, I've never got time to do anything. Well, if doing this task over here and making that, say, automated, and that saves you 5 minutes a day, a working day, that's 25 minutes a week. You know, you're saving yourself 100 minutes or so a month, almost 2 hours. What can you achieve in 2 hours?
Exactly.
You know?
That's exactly it. You know, I mean, like you said as well, you know, earlier in this session, it was just like, it's either going to save you time or it's going to make you money, right? And if you can get both of them together, man, life, that's the winner.
But at the end of the day, if you cut the buying circle down and the number of interactions that you personally have to have, so you're saving yourself half an hour per booking, and you're getting the booking, and then you're getting the repeat booking, all of a sudden you're making even more money doing less work. They know their margins, so therefore
that's what I was just about to say, mate. You know, it's not costing them anything then to actually get the buyer, so they know that they can give it to you at a cheaper amount, because they're not going to have that outlay. Like we've said already, new business, even repeat business, there's a cost involved.
Yeah,
so if we can cut that down,
I think a lot of businesses don't think of the lifetime value of a customer. They just see the value of the sale and what it costs them to get that sale.
You're always throwing the money, aren't you? That's the thing. Like you're always paying to play. That to me, that's not. It's not marketing, right? I mean, I think we live in a time now where, look, marketing, advertising, sales, man, it's all squashed together, right? It's all within a you know, one kind of ball. But it does break down a bit where there are certain things like that where you're always kind of running with Google ads or Facebook ads or whatever it is. You're trying to chuck money at stuff. You're always going to have that outlay to get the customer in, you know. And at that point, you're always going to be on margins. Whereas, like, look, if you can play part of that, of course you can. And there's all kinds of bits around ads that I kind of focus on, where I'm like, look, you need proof of concept first. You know, once you have proof of concept, you know how much a customer, you know, is worth to you. You know how much you can spend to get it. Then you can run the ads to bring them in, and, you know, they're into your system. Because if you know, like you said, you know, if you had a membership or something like that, and you knew that someone lasted 6 months, you know, and it's like, it's 100 quid a time. So you know that person's going to spend 600 quid with you on average. That's what a client does, right? Well, look, you know that you can, your margin, just say your margin is really high on that. Just say that you make 500 out of that. Well, you could spend 200 to get that customer and still make 300. It's like it's simple math that way where you can go, okay, but do you always want to be paying 200 quid to get that customer each time? When you set up the systems, like you said, and all of a sudden that gets down to 20 quid a customer, tenner, and it's like, or your margins then get to increase through having the right systems and the automations and stuff like that in place.
Yeah. Well, I was, funny enough, I was talking to somebody, I did a Q&A yesterday, as we said earlier, and when the guy eventually came on, this is what we kind of talked about, of going, so if you're doing stuff on Google and you get 1,000 impressions, for instance, and then 10% of those people are actually clicking through and going to your website, and 10% of those are filling out the form, and 10% of those are becoming a customer, for those 1,000, you end up with one customer.
I always use the same thing, the 10% of 10% of 10%.
Yeah. Because, and then if we work it out and we put the efficiencies in place, the automations, and change our way of thinking and whatever, but we change the conversion to 30%, for the same 1,000, we're getting 27 customers at the end.
It's crazy.
Now, those 27 customers are far more valuable than that one. Because if you're spending £1 for every person to get that impression, £1,000, and your product is 100 quid, well, what would you rather? 100 quid after spending 1,000? No. Or would you rather 2,700 quid because you got 27 customers? And what do you do then? Because you've effectively, you're pouring the leads into a bucket with a hole in, because you've patched some of those holes and you're getting more, you're keeping more of that water. Great, I'll spend £2,000 and I'll get 2,000 people, because you know what? I will be doubling my customers. I'll be making even more money, or then I can make the further efficiencies and make it 50%, and all of a sudden, the world is a hell of a happier place.
But that is the whole truth there on ads, right? That what you just said, mate, that is the secret to running ads. So many people, they kind of chuck a bit of money at ads, get nothing back, and then they go, oh, well, that didn't work. And it's like you just said then, the 10% of 10% and stuff like that. Well, if your ad only got in front of like 50 people, right, but it takes getting in front of 100 people to get one customer, then did it not work, or did you not just run it long enough or spend the money to get it? And so once you've got stuff that starts working, it doesn't just go, okay, look, for every grand we spend, we get 2.7 back. Do you know what? You might actually run at a loss for a month or two before that happens. Right. Yeah. But then once you get to month 3 and you go, okay, like every time we spend £1,000 now, we make 2,700. And do you know what? We can actually start patching it and stuff like that. And now we're making £5,000 off of that grand. It becomes a game then where you go, look, how much money do we want to put in? Because if every time you put £1 in, £10 comes out, well, you're just going to keep going. But getting to that stage to have that system that works, it takes time. It takes money, or money to pay someone for their knowledge, their expertise to speed up that cycle. And it takes effort. That's the thing, and that whole kind of timepiece as well is that so many people kind of make quite, like we've been saying all the way along, is people are going for that 3% of the market who are ready to buy right now, always chucking money at them, trying to get them. If they don't get that instant hit, then it failed, or it's pointless. You start putting stuff in place now to get the customer in 6 months' time, you're always going to be winning.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you were saying in terms of like the ads and stuff, got a client that we've only been dealing with for a month or 2 months with AdWords, and they've literally just been throwing £1,000 a month at AdWords, and the campaign hasn't been that great. But because the online sales have been all right, they're thinking, great, we're in a good position. So we've ended up making some changes and running out second ads and things like this to learn, because you've got to go through that learning phase, so that now, and whilst we're not 100% there, there's still a bit of tweaking, but we've spent half the money, but we've doubled the conversions.
It's so big though, isn't it? Is that, look, you get the data, you get to analyze it, you get to make the changes to then kind of go up. And mate, I know we kind of touched on things early on the social media front, and I'm just going to be honest, mate. I mean, there are companies out there who run ads, and even some that talk about SEO when really they just run ads. We'll get you to the top of Google. Okay, we'll just run an ad, and what they do there is you pay 500 quid a month or something like that. They take 200 quid out of it, so you've got 300 quid now running for the ads. They will set some ads up. Some may work, like you said. Look, you may get some results from it, right? You get to a point then where you say, I'm not too happy with these results, or you know, it's okay, but can we do a bit better? The first response is, yeah. Well, look, if you just start paying 700 or you start paying 1,000, you know, then you're going to get more, aren't you? Because what we're doing here, but that's not the way to run it. You know, like you said, look, someone who's looking at it going, do you know what? When we've bidded on this keyword here, and actually we've done this in mornings rather than afternoons, we've had more results. So let's take some of the budget from here and let's put more into that. And, you know, let's get more results from it. Like stuff like that, mate, is just like I always say, look, different levels of marketing sophistication. Once you know what to do and how you can kind of work things in different systems, you can make educated decisions, right? Because otherwise, I always kind of say, like, always had this kind of thing, or look, are you winging it or winning it, right? And the way I kind of look at it is like, people just gamble because they're just like, we'll chuck some money at that, we'll chuck some money at this, and, you know, we'll see what comes back. And it's like, once you start owning it, you know, once you start owning the casino, you've got different games around that are always, you know, the house always wins. You know, it's always different rather than you just, you know, chucking some money and hoping that, you know, or the whole kind of red and black thing. That's how I kind of look at it. It's just that roulette is that you go, do you know what? I'll put £5 on red today, you know, hope that it comes in, or 500 quid on red today, hope that comes in. It didn't come in this month. So, you know, we're not going to play roulette again.
Yeah. No? Yeah. It's exactly that. And, you know, you said about throwing more money at it, you know, and Google will be the biggest ones for that. Literally on one of our ad campaigns, they were like, oh, well, if you double your budget, you're going to get more conversions. It's like, oh, no shit. Yeah. Thanks for that, but it's going to cost me a lot more. And I'm not sure it's really worth it. So, and you have to...
That isn't guaranteed either, though. That's the thing.
No.
That it makes out like it is. It's just like, well, yeah, okay, look, you double the money, you're going to get double the conversion. That isn't necessarily true.
It's the beautiful line of going, you know, according to our data and trends, we're about to see at least a 5% upturn in traffic in your sector. So if you like to double your money, double your budget, we estimate that it'll cost you an extra 241 quid or whatever, and it'll get you an extra 300 conversions. It's like, right, so we're already getting more conversions for spending less. You know, you're all right.
There's big parts as well that I think a lot of people don't realize what they do sometimes, but they're actually competing against themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, so you're paying more money to show up because one of your other ads is competing against you to show up for the same result.
Yeah. Google, they're just like, money.
Mate, Google, Facebook, whatever it is, man, they will spend your money. You know, they're not in it to help you, right? You know, they've got a platform you can pay to play.
Yeah. I saw an email yesterday that someone at one of my clients had set up an AdWords account. I was literally on the phone to their manager going, these guys don't have a clue what they're doing. And yeah, thumbs up.
Cool, mate. How did that happen? That's the technology, right?
I'm on the iPad, so I've got to be careful when I gesture. But it's like, hang on, these guys don't know what they're doing. So if they've given £1,000 a month budget, they're one click away from potentially spending £1,000 a day. So it's like, and I've seen that. I do a LinkedIn course every now and then for a company, and somebody who said they made that mistake. They wanted to spend £30, and like the total budget was 300, but they ticked the wrong box, or they put it in the wrong box, and all of a sudden they were on their way to spending 300 quid a day for the campaign. And you're thinking, well, you're running that for 10 days. So that could be a very costly mistake.
Yeah, that is the thing. I mean, there's so many costly mistakes just from setting stuff up in the wrong way. But like you said, then there's so many costly mistakes where if you don't keep on top of it, you're not analyzing it, you're not making the right moves. There's so much there, mate. Going back to roulette, I think, you know, that there is a good example to kind of look at, right? Is most people will go red or black, right?
Yeah.
And you could also go green, but then you can get into numbers and you can get into different segments and all this kind of stuff. If you have no idea how to play roulette, you're just going to go red or black, right? Yeah, exactly right. If you have a bit more kind of knowledge about it all, you might start going, okay, look, if I bet on this number or that number and stuff, I might put a little bit here and a little bit there. And then you go, do you know what? If I look at these slots of numbers, well, look, you know, law of averages has got to hit that kind of part there somewhere. You know,
do I go evens or odds plus red, back,
and stuff like that? So that there is exactly the same thing. Look, when someone knows what they're doing with ads, they start thinking that way. whether, odds, evens, different segments, these numbers, that numbers, and a bit of red and black over here. Whereas someone setting up ads are easy, right? I always say to people, that all the platforms, they give you all the tutorials.
They want you to spend the money.
They want you to spend the money. They show you how to set it up, and everything like that. But then knowing what to do once it's set up, and like you said, you can set it up quite wrong. But once knowing what to do afterwards, man, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and they will suggest things. Of course they will. But like you said, you're either going to put your entire pot of money on red or black, and flip a coin and see which works, or if you know what you're doing, you spread it.
I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go with it now. I know with Google, for example, right? You go into to set up a new kind of Google, because it's just Google Ads now, isn't it? It's not AdWords or whatever it is, but you go and set up ads. They give you two options, don't they? I forget what it's called now, but one's like a dynamic option.
Oh, it's the smart ads.
Smart ads, that's it, right? And
Google will spend your money for you.
Google will spend your money, right? And it's better than what I'm about to say, right? But really, this is the same bracket as boosting posts on Facebook.
Yeah.
Never boost. Never do it, right? Go into the ads and set them up properly. But that whole kind of thing with boosting, Facebook will spend your money. Smart ads, Google will spend your money. It's just like they make it so easy for you to set up, and that whole kind of thing. I mean, Facebook, I'll be honest, there's got to be some sort of trading standards around this somewhere, right? Because you go onto Facebook and say, boost your post, you'll get in front of 3 million people, or whatever it is. It's like, and then you can do it, and then your results will come through, and it's like, I got in front of like 300 people. What happened there then?
Yeah. That was a slow day, But that's the thing, if you think about it, was it in the last 12 months or so, Google have made like 5,000 changes to their algorithm. So what does that mean in layman's terms? They've moved the goalposts 5,000 times. So as soon as you're trying to get close to it, they've moved it, and then they moved it. It's out of sight at times. I was talking to a few people the other day and saying that things are a little bit unsteady at the moment because they've made so many changes that it's just, what was the kind of norm isn't the norm, because, and they're always going to do it because A, it'll make them more money, but B, when somebody cracks it and they're getting, fantastic results, well, everybody else is sooner or later going to catch up with them, so they've got to make it a bit harder. It's like playing a computer game on easy. You complete it, but the next time they're going to make it even harder and harder and harder and harder until it's almost impossible.
Yeah, that's so true, isn't it? That's such a great way of looking at it. But exactly what you said there as well, like with the ad side, it's the same with SEO, isn't it? I mean, there's so many ranking factors anyway, but then there's always updates that they're putting on and everything like that. I can remember when the whole kind of the EAT upgrade came out, the EAT. I can't even think to my mind now what it stands for, but that whole thing there. I can remember dealing with different clients. Some had a massive boost in rankings. Some just died off a cliff. And it's like, you're like, hang on a second, just from one upgrade, you're just like, wow. And I know, going back to like 2012, people got caught out with the whole kind of big SEO changes then. And every year there's different changes and, small little tweaks in different sectors. That's where it's got to now as well, is that they're looking at different sectors, and different sectors get different upgrades and stuff like that. And the whole kind of the EAT one as well is like, with that, a lot of it was called like the medic update as well. Like people branded it as the medic update. And a lot of it was a lot of these kind of voice searches that are going on now. Yeah. Stuff like Alexa and stuff like that, and giving back information is like, they will go in and saying, how hot should I heat this baby's bottle to, or something like that. Right?
Conversational searches rather than.
But also as well is that they want the real results coming back, because as well as I do, man, we could set up a website today and start ranking on the first page of Google for a certain term, right? But we could put whatever we want in there. There was that whole thing with Burger King, I think, where people went into Wikipedia or something and started putting in like arsenic and all stuff like this as the ingredients in the Whopper. It's like you can do that, right? But that's the whole thing where Google, going back to like we were saying earlier, is that they want to give the best experience to their user, because they want you to come back, they want you to trust them, they want you to spend more time on their platform, and stuff like that. And that's the whole thing, that you just have to keep playing ball. You have to do the right things, and that's what cracks me up with Like the same thing with ads, you get the same thing with SEO, don't you? Where, you know, pay 300 quid to a company. Yeah, we'll rank you for, 1 word or 2 words or something like that. And
Yeah,
after a year, you're still paying the same thing, but nothing's even happened. And you're
yeah.
like, well, what's happening? Well, if you pay a bit more money, you might show up a bit more. Well, but how would you even do that?
Well, this is the thing. Is there's two kind of things there that these companies might rank you number one for something that's really obscure.
Yeah.
That's not actually getting a lot of traffic, but you're number one. Woo! It doesn't really matter. You could be, you could have the best Christmas lights in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Doesn't really matter. There's nobody there to see you. And what you've also got to do is think of Google like a big beast, like a big monster, and you've got to keep feeding it. Otherwise, it's just going to swallow you up. So you've got to keep feeding it, whether that is through good SEO, whether that's throwing more money at it. Either way, you've got to keep feeding that beast, because if you don't, it will swallow you up and nobody will see you again. Simple.
100%. Mate, do you know what? On that bombshell, I reckon we'll look to wrap things up there. Feed the beast. That, do you know what? I think that's marketing in general, isn't it?
Nike say it best. Just do it.
Just do it, mate. That's what it's all about, Yeah, mate, let's wrap things up, mate. As always, mate, I appreciate your time coming in. I'm sure the members and that appreciate it as well. I mean, like I said, I need some sound effects because the bombs in this section, just like it is just gold, isn't it? That's the thing. You follow along with it, even at even a 10% increase to what you're doing now with some of the stuff discussed here. You're going to start seeing results. You're going to start, moving up like rankings, or just moving up in regards to just terms of conversion rates and all this kind of stuff. So,
really, yeah. That 10%. Well, it's like they usually say: if you increase things by 1% every day, then at the end of the month you're 30% better off.
Yeah.
But you've got to start somewhere, and you just got to do it. It's better to do something rather than nothing.
Not even getting into back into like some of these companies that are just like pulling your leg with stuff, right? But you get the social companies as well that. Yeah. They start doing some social posting, and all of a sudden your insights are like 2,000% up. And the only reason is because they've done stuff where you haven't. So we're talking about a 10% increase. Well, actually, do you know what? Just by taking some action where you're not doing anything, and the bully Andy here, where he came on in the beginning, is that if he sets up this page and he starts sending people to this page and he starts emailing the people, right? He's already going to like increase by 1,000% in the next quarter to what he has the last quarter.
Yep. Make the change, play the game, beat the beast.
I love it, mate. That's what it's all about. Mate, we'll wrap things up there. It's been a pleasure. See you then. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Strategy and Conversions podcast. Myself and Matt, I reckon we could talk for days on all areas of marketing. But look, I hope you got some value from that, some different parts where you're just like, yeah, do you know what? That made perfect sense. This is how I'm going to look at things, or this is what I need to do next. Look, and if you do need some help, reach out, to myself, reach out to Matt as well. And as always, look, the Marketing and Sales Mastermind is there if you want to join in. If you need a bit more kind of help, a bit more guidance, like I said, get in touch as well. And look, just me asking for a favor as well. Look, if you found value from this, share it with other people. Like, comment, subscribe wherever you are. It always helps, and it helps the world go around. It helps the podcast go around. Listeners in all different countries as well. So look, thank you for listening. I keep getting notifications that we keep moving up and down in different charts around the world. How awesome is that, right? Just from here in the UK, just giving you bits of information to help you with your business and your kind of making money activities moving forward. Well, look, I'm Jamie Michael Joseph signing off. I'll catch you in the next episode.